everyone! Welcome back to This Book Belongs to Pam, and Happy New Year! Is it still okay to say that? It's already like second week of January. It's been a while since I posted a video. A lot of things have happened and it kind of took me out towards the end of the year, last year. First of all, I want to thank everyone who tuned in to my Bookmas videos. I know I didn't complete it, but I'm still very proud that I was able to put out, I think, like 10-11 videos. And yeah, that was certainly an accomplishment for me, and I will definitely still be doing that this year. I just don't know what format yet that I'm gonna be doing, but anyway, the reason why I kind of like took a long-ish break from filming, from editing, from everything, it's because my 12-year-old Shih Tzu Blue crossed the Rainbow Bridge on December 22nd. Yes, 3 days before Christmas. It was definitely a very heartbreaking moment for the entire family, but I do think that she is in a much better place now. She can have all of the forbidden food that she wants. Okay, deep breaths. We're okay. Anyway, with that aside, I am so excited to start the new year off with a fun book tag. So this is the JAN-uary Book Tag, originally created by JanAgaton here on BookTube. I will link her channel and the original video for this tag, which she made last year. So this tag is very simple, just a couple of questions related to books you've read last year, books you're planning to read this year. Very light-hearted start to the new year, which is why I wanted to do it. So yeah, without further ado, let's get on to the questions. Okay, so the first question is, what was the last and first book you read last year? So I'm gonna start with the first book I read, which is If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha. This is a 5-star read for me, and I don't know, it was a very emotional read, and it really sheds a light on the plight of women, not just in South Korea, but as a woman. I think you would find yourself relating to the experiences of at least one of the characters in the book because it is told in multiple POVs. I definitely recommend reading this book. And yeah, that was the first book I read, If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha. And the last book that I read, I actually have a physical copy, which is The Deal by L. Kennedy. So this is the first book in a series called the Off-Campus series. It is a sports romance focused on ice hockey, and we are following this star captain of the Briar University hockey team, persuading this girl named Hannah to tutor her for a specific course, because as a student athlete, he has to meet like a specific GPA in order to keep playing for the school's hockey team. It's a very fun read, very easy, lighthearted. It's not super cringy for me, I think. I find the characters quite lovable. I find them well developed. I see myself rooting for them, so it was definitely something that I did not expect to like, especially with this cover. I read this because it's a series read-along book for Jamie's Library's Patreon, and I just had a really good time reading it. I think I definitely read it in one sitting. I am so glad that I picked this up to end my year because I needed that light-hearted vibes. So the next question here is, what is your first read of this year? So very good segue, because my first read is the second book in the same series. This is The Mistake by L. Kennedy. It's the second book in the Off-Campus series, and it follows one of the hockey players. So we're basically following the hockey team in the series. So we're following one of the other guys in the team, and he is the best friend of the guy from The Deal. So we're following him, and this one, I just finished it this morning. I started it last night. They're very addictive books. Once you start reading them, you just keep going. This one, I liked it. It was a fun read, very addictive as I mentioned, but I felt like it recycled some of the elements, some of the plot points, and even some of the personality of the guy from the first book. It felt like he was still writing this book. So I didn't enjoy it as much as the deal, but there was one scene in here that reminded me so much of A Walk to Remember. And if I can find that specific scene in A Walk to Remember, I will put it in here right now.
Nice spot. Dean, stop it.
You stay out of this. Listen. You okay? You made a mistake, Landon.
But if not, I don't know, it just gave me major A Walk to Remember vibes, and now I want to rewatch the movie, which I actually might do later tonight. So yeah, that is The Mistake. Oh, I didn't tell you what it was about. So we're following another player in the hockey team, and this guy is like he's like a stud. Like everyone wants to basically have sex with him. And then he has a thing. Is this a spoiler? Anyway, he has a thing for this girl who he can't have because this girl is already the girlfriend of someone very important to him. So he has a thing for that girl and got cut off. But yeah, there's a lot of mining on the first part of this book, and I like that. But other than that, it was just an okay read for me. So the next question is, share 3 of your reading goals this year. Aside from the number of books read, which for me, my goal is 50. I think I'm good with 50, keeping it at 50. Some of my goals are, 1, I want to finish the series that I started in the past couple of years since I started reading again. I don't have a list yet of those series, so I don't know if this is a very lofty goal, but so far from the physical books that I have, some of the series that I want to finish is the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson, and this is a very chunky book and I love this book so much, so I'm sure that I'm gonna be reading it this year because it's a priority for me. And I want to reread this one and then reread the last 2 in the series. So yeah, this is one. And then I have the Illuminate File series by Amy Kaufman and Jake Kristoff. This is a YA science fiction read that I started just last year, like late last year. And it was okay. It was quite enjoyable. I'm interested enough to read the next books. And the book itself is just very beautiful. I share this every time I share this book, but I just love the naked cover. Look at that, super pretty. Next one that I just started in December was the I'm not sure what the name of the series is, but it's the Caraval series. I read the first book in December during Bookmas and I enjoyed it a lot. I love the premise, I love the setting. There are quite a couple of things that I didn't enjoy, but I'm interested enough to read the rest of the series. Not here as well because I couldn't find it, was JAN-uary series. This is a Filipino authored book, middle grade I believe, and I've read 2 books so far. So I'm planning to read I think there are 3 more books, but I only have 2 right now, but I'm planning to read it next year. That's one of my goals. Another one, which connects to the last thing I said, is to read at least 5 Filipino authored books. I definitely want to up this number as the years go by. Last year, I think I only read, like, I haven't checked my, like, stats yet or anything, but I definitely only read 1 book in the Filipino Tagalog language. I think I read about, like, 5 Filipino books, but a lot of those are from like Filipino Americans, but I also want to make sure that I read locally. So the goal this year is to read 5 Filipinos based in the Philippines authored books. I already have sort of like a list in mind, and I'm very excited for those books. And lastly, read 3 classics. I've never really prioritized classics before, but this year, I don't know, I just want to check out what it's about. I've read a couple of classics in my lifetime, especially for school. I don't know, I just want to read it more now that I'm an adult. And I definitely want to read Frankenstein by Mary Shelley because I have a physical copy of it. And then the other 2 books, I'm not sure yet. Maybe Jane Eyre because I also have a physical copy of that. We'll see. I don't have very strict goals, plans, or anything right now. But yeah, that's one of my plans for this year. So the next question is, share 3 of your most anticipated titles. I was supposed to film an anticipated releases, but I never got around to it. So these are just the 3 that I'm super excited for and I can't wait to read. Number 1 is Mysteries of Thorn Manor by Margaret Rogerson. This is a novella sequel to Sorcerer of Thorns, which is one of my favorite guilty pleasure YA fantasy romance book. I think I read it last year, maybe 2 years ago, and I really loved it. I have a physical copy of it as well. So I'm planning to reread Sorcery of Thorns first and then reread Mysteries of the Thorn Manor, which is also perfect because Carrie can read's book club. The book for this month is Sorcery of Thorns. The next one is Unfettered Sky by Fonda Lee. I actually have an e-arc of this, and that makes me super excited and I feel super special, and that is definitely motivation for me to read. But Fonda Lee wrote my favorite fantasy series so far. Is it? Yeah, it's adult fantasy, and it's the Greenbone Saga. That book has a chokehold on me. It has a very special place in my heart, and the characters there are amazing. I love them so much. The story, the plot, everything was just so good in the Greenbone Saga. If you haven't read it, you have to read it. Okay, the last one is, this is on everyone's anticipated releases list, but it's Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I haven't read anything by R.F. Kuang. I have Babel, which is gonna be on my TBR for this year, but I just like the premise of this book so much. So we have this white girl author, and she witnesses the death of this very revered, very loved Asian author. And then for some reason, she thought it was a good idea to steal a completed manuscript of the Asian author who just died and publish it as her own. So that in itself, you can see, is a very interesting commentary on history, on colonization, on appropriation. And I think with R.F. Kuang's skill, which I haven't personally experienced yet because I haven't read any of her books, but from what I'm hearing from everyone, she's a very talented, smart, intellectual writer, and I can't wait to see how she talks about these topics, because last year I read a book that kind of talked about the topic of colonization and, you know, theft in the art world, and it was awful. So I'm gonna see how R.F. Kuang deals with this topic. And yeah, that's Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. So the next question is, which goals did you not reach last year? So the thing is, I didn't really set goals for myself in 2022. I don't think I did. Like, I'm trying to remember, but I don't really think I did. I met my reading goal of 50 books, so that's amazing. But other than that, I don't think I have like actual goals in terms of like how many this genre I want to read or whatever. So yeah, that's my answer for this question. Okay, the next one is, are there new releases this year you've heard of that you have no desire to read? I'm not super knowledgeable of the new releases, but I know that there are a couple of like Sarah J Maas books, a Cassandra Clare book that are coming out that I have no desire to read right now. I'm not in that mood right now. So yeah, I can't really answer this specifically because there's so many releases in a year, and I'm pretty sure most of them I don't want to read. So yeah, that's my very cop-out answer for this one. Okay, next is, what are some reading habits you want to change this year, if any? I actually changed one of my reading habits from last year, which is to read one book at a time. I'm now reading so many books at a time, and it's quite fun. I'm still enjoying it, so I'm not in a hurry to change back into my old ways. Let's see, what reading habits do I have that I don't want to keep or that I want to change? I don't think there are any. Like, I don't have very intense reading habits. Oh, maybe it's annotation. Kind of want to annotate a little bit more, not really like full on writing, highlighting, whatever my books, maybe just underlining stuff with pencil. Right now I just tab things, so as you can see here I have tabs, but I just tab it and then I don't write anything on the page. So if I tab it, I just align it to the line that I'm tabbing essentially. But maybe I'm gonna underline. maybe with a pencil. Baby steps. Maybe that's one thing that I want to change. Question number 8 is, are there any adaptations you're excited about? A couple of adaptations I'm excited about. First one, which I know everyone is excited about, Daisy Jones and the Six getting a limited release TV show. Definitely gonna be watching it. I listened to this in audiobook and I loved it so much, and I think the casting is spot on. So yeah, I'm very excited to watch this one. When I was listening to the book, I said that I wanted to hear the music that they were talking about, because music is such a big part of this book. I want to hear that music, I want to hear those songs that changed their lives. I did not know that this book was getting an adaptation this year. I just found out about it while sort of researching the list as I was preparing for this video. And Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, I did not know that it was gonna get an adaptation. I'm so excited because that book is literally life-changing for me in a very personal way. Even though it's a very cheesy romance book, I loved it so much. And I'm so excited that it's getting adapted. And I'm definitely gonna be rereading it before that happens. I was shocked when I saw that in the list. So yeah, Red, White, and Royal Blue. Next question is favorite bookish memory of last year. I have two favorites. Number one is finally meeting Pam from PamsShenanigans. Fun fact, we work in the same company. We met in the booktube community before I even started my booktube, and then we ended up working in the same company. But since we're in like a remote work setup right now, we haven't really met. We live very far from each other. So finally, when we were doing our company Christmas party, we were able to meet and just hang out, and it was one of the best feelings ever, finally meeting a person that you've been talking to, going on live stream with. And I also want to meet more bookish people, so hopefully that happens this year. So yeah, that's one of my favorite bookish memories of last year. And another one is Bookmas. I know, like I said earlier, I didn't complete it, but I was so proud of myself for dive in head first and just go for it, not overthink things, and letting things be. Just accepting what happens, working it. I did work hard on that. I was editing and filming like crazy, especially during the first half. And I know, I'm really proud of myself, and I can't wait to try it again next year and challenge myself some more. So yeah, those are my two favorite memories, bookish memories from last year. And the last question is carryovers from last year that you still plan on finishing. I have a couple of them here. I only have 4 carryovers. So I have 3 of them in physical format and then 1 of them in an audiobook. So the audiobook one is Dial A for Aunties by Jessie Q. Sutanto. I started this on audiobook, but a lot of things happened, like I said, towards the end of the year, and I wasn't able to finish it before my loan from the library expired. So I'm on the waiting list for this again, and I'm gonna pick it up as soon as I get the book again. And then I have 3 physical books here. One of them I'm not gonna reveal because it's for a secret TBR video project, but the 2 here is first one is Dekada 70. I was actually starting to read this in November. I put it in my December TBR, but I never finished it. I didn't even pick it up. And yeah, this is one of the books that I want to read for my goal of reading more Filipino authored books. And I started it. I'm on page 20 and I have not progressed since. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be picking this up this year and I want to finish it. And then another one, a chunky boy, is A Secret History by Donna Tartt. I'm currently on page 138, which is quite a long way to go. But yeah, I'm loving this so far, so I'm definitely going to be continuing it this January, hopefully finishing it this month as well, because I don't want to prolong reading this. I just want to go for it because I really enjoyed it and there are a lot of tabs already. So yeah, those are the books that I'm carrying over from last year. Not a lot. Those are all the questions for the JAN-uary book tag. Thank you again to JanAgaton for creating this tag. I'm gonna link her channel, the original tag video, in the description. If you're watching this and you want to do it, go ahead and just let me know when you post it so I can watch it and be a nosy bitch. Yeah, again, Happy New Year everyone, and thank you for watching this video. I hope to enjoy it and I will see you in the next one. Bye!